Safe version 105, being released on Thursday, May the 25th, 2023, will now have task types and task templates as a primary feature. This new feature continues our efforts to significantly update the tasking and auto dispo feature of the Safe system. In the coming months, you're going to see quite a few updates as it relates to these types of features. So let's take a look at this. Let's go to the task menu up here on your menu bar. And when you go into tasking, the first thing that you'll notice is that there's now a task type and a subtype menu. All of your existing tasks will be labeled general. So for any legacy things, we're going with general. What does it look like to use these tasks? So I'm going to go in and add a new task into here. And you'll notice now from the drop-down menu, there's a task type menu with a singular option of other. By default, the only option you're going to have is other. You'll customize this menu as we go along. So before we customize this task screen, let's just go through the basic elements of creating a task. I'm now going to select the task type of other, and you'll notice I have a sub-menu of a miscellaneous request. And again, in a minute, we're going to get through customizing all of this. Then I'm going to do this. We're going to say that the title of this, I need these items for court. And the due date on this task is going to be tomorrow, and I'm going to assign the task to that person right there. These are the basic elements of creating a task. So when I hit save, that person is going to get a task with the request that I just made. And now you'll notice that my task type is other and a miscellaneous request. So now let's take a look at customizing that menu. So the customization can be a little tricky. Don't be afraid to pause the video or come back and watch it again. We're going to go to the settings menu over on the left, and we're going to go to task settings. I want to start at the options menu and cover what's in this area right here. The first thing is you'll notice under task types, these are all of the available options that are currently available to you for task types. Now you'll notice a little bit ago when I was creating a new task, I only had the option of other, but here are all the other ones that are available to me. And at any point in time, you can click the add button and go in and create a new option on this menu. So I'm going to create one called new request. Ignore for the moment action allowed. This is something that is not available in version 105, but in version 106, we're going to start making use of the action allowed menu. So for the moment, just ignore that. So I've now created an option in my menu here called new request. However, if you go back at this point in time and you go in to add a new task, you'll notice I still only have the other menu. And the reason that is we have to create task templates before I can start seeing them on my menus. But let's stay in the options area and focus on this for just a moment. Here's all of my task types. Here are all the subtypes that are available to me. So as you go about customizing these menus, you're going to first create task types. Then you're going to create subtypes if you need them. You do not have to have a task subtype for the type that goes along with it. And in version 106, we're going to make use of the task actions menu. So for version 105, ignore task actions. In 106, we're coming out with task actions, and we'll have a video that explains that. So let's try and stick the landing and finish this out. The last thing that we need to do in order to make these task types or subtypes available for creating a new task is to go to my task templates and begin to build out the options we want to use along with their available options. So here's what this looks like. Let's go to the add menu, and let's say the very first type that we want to make use of is a transfer request. And then I've already built out a subtype of court. So for example, if somebody says I wanted to create a new task with a transfer type or a type of transfer request and it's going to court, I can also create template messages in here. So court transfer request, and I'll show you how this works here in just a moment. I need these items for court. And we'll say in general, we're going to give whoever the recipient is of this task 3 days to follow up on that. So when I hit OK now, I've created a template that shows all of this data. If I go back to my menu now and create a new task, now you're going to see I've got transfer request in here and court option. But what's also really nice about this new feature is that you can have these templated messages show up so that the user creating these almost doesn't even have to type anything in anymore. This not only makes it easier for the user, but it ensures that the language that I'm generally getting on these tasks is far more unified now. Plus, the due date has automatically been set for 3 days in the future because my templates suggest these types of tasks and these with this subtype is going to get a 3-day follow-up on it. Any one of these can be manipulated. If I need to change the title or the message or even the due date, I can do that. But in this case, I don't need to do that. So let's go ahead and hit save on this, and I've just created a new task type there. So now that you've seen how to do it, let's go back and do one more example just to make sure you got that. I'm going to go back into my task settings. I'm going to go to task templates, and keep in mind, you have to create a template for every type and subtype combination that you want to show up on your menus. So for example, transfer request, if I want to go in and create a new transfer request option, and I want to add now the lab, items for lab, these items are going to lab, you need to go in and you need to create a template for every one of these options. So I've built that out now. Let's do one more, and I'm going to say this is going to be an error correction, and I have a subtype of your packaging and labeling. This is a very common request that you're going to be dealing with. The title will be error in packaging. I need you to come fix the package you submitted. It's wrong. Okay. And I know you'll come up with something far more elaborate than that. And we'll say our policy gives them 7 days to do that. I hit OK. And so now watch when I go back and create a new task. I hit add task. If I do the error correction now with a packaging and labeling, it's automatically all filled out. You don't have to do anything else. With your 7-day follow-up, we're going to assign it to that same person, hit save, and now we're done. Hopefully this is going to make it a lot faster with these templates now. Not only do you have the types and the subtypes, but you can you have the messaging that goes along with it that's going to make this way easier. Last thing I want to show you are the drop-down menus up here at the top. So now you can go in. Let's say you have hundreds of tasks in your menu. By going up here, you can say, hey, just show me all the error correction tasks that I have, or all of the general tasks, or whatever the case may be. You can pick one of these other options that are available to you. Hopefully with these new features, this is going to make tasking even better than what it already is.